Well, we'll just see. Voices should be off. Show me your ready. Under table of contents, we are on to number 16. So for number 16, go ahead and, I'll go with dark blue today. Rounding decimals. Alright, in my book I'm on 40. Put your page number, turn the page, and go ahead, give it a title. Rounding decimals. Underline your title. Alright, so we round decimals when we are estimating, okay? Why do we estimate? Max? Okay, it helps us get closer to finding our answer. Brooklyn?
So, like, you don't have to write down everything, you can just, well, it also helps you check your answer because, if you do the real answer, you give your estimate was close to your
Yeah. Sometimes we have to figure things out quickly, and we don't have time to figure out the exact answer, and so we estimate. Like if we're shopping and we want to buy 6 candy bars, we have to do some quick math sometimes. Number 1, to make sure they're charging us correctly, right? And number 2, making sure we have enough money. So our big thing with decimals is money, right, guys? We talk about that all the time. Do you want somebody charging you too much? No. You work hard for your money, right? Okay. So rounding is what we use to estimate. So underneath, put a little star. We use rounding to estimate. So, for our example today, we are going to use the decimal 729,000. So write that at the top. Okay. And step 1. Step 1, underline the place you are rounding to. Here's what that means. So I'm going to rewrite my example so I know what I'm working with. If, usually, when you are rounding, you're going to have directions from the teacher, right? So if the paper says round to the 100th place, you're going to underline the 100th place. If it says round to the 10th, then you'd underline the 10th. Okay? For our example, we are rounding to the 100th. So which digit will I underline? Brooklyn. The 2. Does everybody agree? Yes. To check, I could flip back to my decimal place value page, and I can, actually, let's all do this. I could take out all of my numbers This is what our decimal place value is for. The decimal I gave you was 729,000. So I can stick my digits in the order that I wrote down, and that can help me see my place value. So how many tenths do I have? 7. You can just say, how many hundredths?
2.
How many thousands?
9.
Which digit is in the hundredth place? The 2, right? So if you get stuck, you can use your numbers and your place value chart. Or not chart, your place value pocket. Oh, place value pocket. Alright, put your numbers back in and flip back to rounding. So step 1, pretty easy, right? All you do is underline that place. Step 2. Look at the digit to its right. Draw an arrow. Let's write that down. So for my example, I'm going to copy down everything I've done so far, which is underlined the 2, right? I'm going to look at the digit to its right. What digit is that?
9.
I'm going to draw an arrow. Is that a pretty hard step?
Yeah.
Very hard.
Okay,
Oh.
step 3. Last step. Okay, step 3. If it is 5 or more, increase the digit to the left by 1. If it is less than 5, just use the digit to the left. So, I'll show you what that means. Let's write it down. And then our second part.
We had like a little chart that says it is 5, 3, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you add 1. No, you. 5, 6, 7, you. It was 4. Give me a moment. 4. Yeah. Keep on. Then it was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you add.
Yes, that's exactly what this means. Okay? So, Nick, If I go back to my example looks like this, right? My 2 underlined and my arrow, okay? So if it is 5 or more, increase the digit to the left by 1. That means add 1. If it is less than 5, just use the digit to the left. Okay, so I've got my 2 underlined. I'm looking at my 9. Is 9 5 or more?
Yes.
What am I going to do? Add 1. What is 2 plus 1?
3.
So this is going to equal then I circle my answer. Okay. We're going to do some practices together before I let you loose. So, we'll do some practice on the back. You could. And I like to title my practice number 1. Okay, so we're going to look at this decimal. First of all, who can read that decimal to us in decimal language? Alex. 2. No. 2. What do we say for our decimal point? Yes, good. I want you to round it to the 100th place. Step 1, underline the digit in the 100th place. What digit is that? Ruby. Good, underline your 6. Step 2, draw an arrow to the right. Step 3, if it is 5 or bigger, add 1. 4 or less, right? Then you just draw that number. So is 7 bigger than 5?
Yes.
What are we going to do?
Add 1.
So put equals, and if we add 1, what does the 6 become?
7.
So it's going to equal 2 and 3,700. Okay, Kayla? Nope, because we round it. So if I'm thinking about money, if I'm at the gas station where they have those huge long decimals, and I'm looking at this, am I going to pay the man $2.36 or $2.37? 37 cents, because I'm going to round up. Because the man at the gas station doesn't want to lose money. Okay, so you're really thinking, what decimal is it closer to? 7 or 6? Okay, let's do another one. This decimal. Round it to the 100th place. So step 1, underline the 100th place. What digit is in the 100th place? Morgan. The 4. Step 2, draw an arrow to the right. Are you thinking step 3 already, Eric?
Yeah.
If you're done, that's okay. Just follow along. If it's 5 or bigger, add 1. Is 9 bigger than 5?
Yeah.
Who can tell me my answer? Blake. Very good. Raise your hand if you got that one correct. Ooh, we're catching on. Let's do another one. Oh, I might be able to trick you. Round to the hundredth place. Okay, who can talk me through? Who can tell me what to do? Ooh. All right, Jessie, tell me what to do.
I don't know if I got it right, but underline the 100.
Which digit is in the hundredth? The 1? Okay.
And then make an arrow to the right. And then add 1. So add 1.
Uh-oh. Is 0 more than 5?
Yeah.
No, guys, 0 is less than 5. So what's my answer going to be? Charlie?
It's just either be 3 and 100, or is it just the same thing?
Right, because 0 means nothing. But what I am going to say, if the directions say round to the 100,
Oh, then do that.
just drop your 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, they mean the same. Okay. All right, let's do another one. Oh, I might be able to trick you on this one.
Again?
Round to the 100th. Who can talk me through it? Logan.
You just keep adding 1 to all of them until they get to the
I'll go through the steps. What I do first.
You underline the 9.
Which 9? I'm in 2nd grade. I don't know. Is it the first 9 or the second 9? This one?
Oh, no.
Okay. Now what do I do?
And then you give an arrow to the 8. And then add 1. And then you add another 1.
I'm confused. Add 1 to what?
9.
Ah, this 9?
No, you add, first you add 1 to the 8.
No, because we're rounding to 100. Okay. So Logan, you're right. I add 1, but what is 9 plus 1? 10, right? So carry the 1, and the 9 becomes a 0. Carry the 1. Who can tell me my answer? CJ?
1.
But it's the 100th place.
1 and 0.
Okay, instead of saying what, you need to raise your hand, guys, because that's not okay. You have questions or you're confused, saying what doesn't help you. Raising your hand helps you. So, let me explain. If we have 998,000, right? How many thousands are in 100? 10. 10. So if I add 1, okay, so 8 is more than 5. So I have to add 1. And now I have 10 hundredths. How many hundredths are in a 10? 10. So I carry my 1. How many tenths in 1 whole? I carry my 1. Now I have 1 whole, don't I? Okay? And then, because I'm rounding to that 100th place, I'm showing 0 and 0. Really what we're doing is 998,000, is that closer to 1, or is it closer to 997,000? 1. Okay? Alright. Number 5. Okay. This decimal, I want you to do something different. Round this decimal to the 10th place. The 10th. Who wants to explain it to me? I'm a 4th grader.
Okay.
All right, Angela.
So first you have to line the 3 and the 10.
Is the 3 in the
Oh,
10?
no. The 2.
Oh, look back at your decimal place value.
Oh. The first you have to line the 6.
Good. Somebody's talking. Very rude.
And then you make an arrow to the right. Then, since it's 2, you don't add at all, so, I guess you just make it 3 and 2,000, no, or 6,200, or just leave it the same.
Very close. Very close. Jesse, what do you think?
I think since 6 is over 5, I think you have to.
We're looking at the 2.
Oh.
Because we're rounding to the 10th. Amanda? 2 is less than 5. Aaliyah? If I'm rounding to the 10th, I can't have any more numbers than the 10th place. And if it's less than 5, I just drop that number, and it's 3.6. Okay? Alright. One more. Because you're going to run across this one on your work today. What is this decimal? Who can read that decimal? Caitlin?
7.
Okay, I want you to round it to the 1 place. To the 1. If you're stuck, 1, remember, look back at your place value. Shouldn't hear talking. Max, talk me through it.
So, I mean, you can't really do the strategy that we did here, so you kind of have to, like, you can, like, divide it. Kind of like how we divide, we can, yeah, I'm wrong. I didn't know, I did it a weird way that I don't know.
Okay, let's see if we can use our strategy. Kayla.
I'm going to do it, so, the 1, so what you do is you underline your 7,
Well, the 7's in the 10th.
the 0.
The 0. How many of you figured out the 0's in the 1's place? Okay, so your 0 should be underlined. Kayla, what do I do next?
And then do your little arrow to the 7.
My arrow goes to the 7.
And then you'll add 1, and then so it would just equal 1.
I'm adding 1 because 7's more than 5. So 0 plus 1 is... If I'm rounding to the 1's place, I'm not going to put a decimal point or 0. It's just 1. If I'm rounding to the 1's, I'm really saying is 7/10 closer to 0 or 1 whole? What's it closer to? 1. Okay, leave your notes out, okay? Today's lesson is not in your book. It's actually a worksheet, so I need paper passers. I think I made one.
Do this now.
I work on it, and whenever your dad gets here, okay?
We have to
Unless you stay the whole time. Okay. While you're waiting for your copy, take a look up here. Voices are off. We can hear. Melody, you don't need a highlighter. Okay. The first part, you're rounding to the nearest 10. Should I see underlining and arrows? Yes. Second part, we're rounding to the nearest 100. Should I see underlining and arrows? Next part, you're rounding to the nearest 1. Should I see underlining and arrows? 19, you're going to be rounding these to the nearest 10th. Okay? This is on your own. Questions? Angela? $3.60. Tenths is a dime. Good question. Last question.
You want to use paper for number 19, Daniel?
Oh, number 19. I'm shutting. I think you have room down here to show your arrows and underlines. Okay? Make sure you show your work. Who didn't get one? Alright. TJ.
When you were doing the trick, when you were doing drawing the arrow, what happens if the number is exactly 5?
5 or more, add 1. Add 1. Okay. Extra? No? Well, for rounding to the tenths, I shouldn't have a 2 there. Remember, we dropped that. Alright, guys, go ahead and get started.